Hey everybody, welcome to another Shop Talk live streaming on all of our social media platforms. So you could be watching us LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We did get a little late start. I do apologize for that. So those of you that hung around waiting, thank you so much. Here to talk about something that's very, very important to all of us in the industry right now, and that's continuing our education. And I've got some really great guests to help me out with that. Of course, probably don't need any introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Of course, the gentleman at the top right of our screen is Brandon Steckler, our new technical editor. I can't say new; he's been doing the job for a little over a year now. So, running up on in the fall, right? That's when you got your
Yes, sir.
view in Apex. But so he's been around for quite a while. And of course, you also know he's been on the training circuit for some time. Highly sought after as a trainer. And then, of course, we got a gentleman at the bottom, Scott Brown. Where do I start with you, Scott? He's currently PTEN technical editor, but he does so much more for the industry. Of course, and correct me if I'm wrong, founder, president of Diagnostic Network, diag.net, tremendous resource for the industry professionals. If you haven't checked that out, by all means, go there, diag.net. And just see the resources that are available for you there. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
So, let's kind of hit it off. I mean, I think all three of us have done training on the presenting side, and we've attended a lot on the receiving side. But, guys, I mean, I remember when Mary Barra, she's the chairman of CEO, when she said that the technology of our industry is going to change faster in the next 5 years than it has over the last 50. And she said that like 5 years ago, right? So, I mean, would you guys agree that the technology that the OEMs are coming out with is just, it's like the movie Fast and Furious? What do you guys, what's your guys' take on that?
I tend to agree. I mean, I see that where the industry is going, right? You see a lot of this movement into the software defined vehicle, right? So the vehicle is virtually running multiple networks, multiple modules, carrying out all sorts of tasks. Primarily, in the past, it's been driven for emissions and fuel economy. But now we've got, infotainment and ADAS, right? ADAS is probably the bigger driver in all of this, and these features are bringing more safety into the vehicle, and actually and yielding results. I mean, that's a key indicator, and us as technicians, I really thrive on the technology. I love it. I love to see it, but boy, some days. You just stop and think and you go, wow, where in the heck is all this stuff coming from? And you know what, if I was a brand new technician coming into the industry today, I'm not sure if I would get turned on or turned off. I remember, when I came in the industry in the early 80s, they were just bringing in fuel injection, right? Computer controlled carburetors. And that really intrigued me, but that was at the top edge, right? There really wasn't all that much. It was a little difficult to learn, but today, wow, it's increasingly amazing to see all this technology rolling out of these vehicles. But we've got to have somebody there to know how to fix it, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that leads kind of right into what I want to ask Brandon about, because not only is he overseeing the technical aspects of the magazine to make sure that that's current, accurate, relevant. But he does a lot of training as well, a lot of course development. So, I mean, you see both perspectives there, Brandon. You know what it's like to be on the working end, like as we all do, and on the teaching end. So, how do you feel about the challenge of keeping up today?
Well, to second what Scott said, I can't say it any better. To be a technician coming into today's industry as it is, I would feel a bit overwhelmed. But there's also better platforms for learning that exist today, I think, than in yesteryear. But yes, moving forward at such a tremendous pace, if you're not attending training and continuing to grow as a tech, you are in fact falling behind.
And fast, right? I mean, it's
Really
not that we can't keep up with the technologies, because we've all seen it's like Scott pointed out back in that day. He started off with the first electronics coming out. I was points and carburetor guy when I first started. I can't imagine taking, say, a late model Mercedes Benz with a couple of hundred modules on it, and dropping that back in the future, and, and laying that on somebody in the late 70s, early 80s. It's not that we've always adapted to these changes as they've come along, but um, and sometimes just on our own, kind of feeling it out, right? It's like when you get that new scan tool, who reads the book? You just start playing with the buttons and seeing what works and doesn't work. But now the technologies it's just so many of them
Mhm.
that you just can't do that. And to Brandon's point, I got to say, yes, especially with the pandemic, right, guys? It's like, because then we had a lot of different avenues that came open to training. A lot of guys started taking more advantage of it. And in my opinion, because of that, even more are showing an interest in live training. What do you got? What do you think?
I agree with that 100%. When this from the training aspect, from a trainer's perspective, I was kind of fearful when this COVID thing rolled around, because if I can't go teach classes, what am I going to do? So a lot of us had fear that training as we know it was going to come to a halt, and in fact it did. But it turned out to be a good thing, because it kind of forced our hand to be a bit creative. Not just sit down in front of a camera and be a talking head in a virtual class, but to actually conduct something where people can be in an environment to learn, to interact with microphones and sometimes video feed. The things we can do now in a virtual classroom atmosphere is sometimes, if not supplemental, even better than being in a live classroom, because I can show things right in front of me that I couldn't do in a large audience. So
yeah. Scott, your opinion?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think both are a great mix. It is great to be in person training because not only are you learning from the instructor and the curriculum, but you're also learning from the peers around you.
Mhm.
There are discussions that either evolve inside the classroom or even in the hallway. You may learn something new, or you may have a challenge that you've been struggling with, or trying to learn some new concept or what have you, and maybe it doesn't come across clearly in the classroom, but maybe you talk to a couple of your peers, and all of a sudden the light bulb turns on and you go, oh wow, now I understand how that works, or I understand how to apply this. And you can turn around and go take it right back to work and help it generate some revenue for you. So but yeah, I mean, for years, going way back, before we even had video over the web, we were thinking about doing, we're going, hey, why can't we use the web for this training stuff? And it was wonderful to see, the training organizations out there just start springing up the virtual stuff, when COVID initially hit us, and helped us tap into some resources. And I have to also say that I kind of get spoiled over that as well, right? So if I could sit in and get all the same education without having to hop on an airplane and travel halfway across the country, and then I get to go home and sleep in my own bed, that's actually pretty cool. But it is great to get out and get face to face. I think, Pete, you and I were back in North Carolina last fall, and that was kind of the first in-person event, big event that I was at in 2021. So that was actually a really good feeling. I mean, you see all these people, everybody's just smiling,
Yeah.
like, oh wow,
I think
hey, here we are.
Brandon here too, right? ASTE would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brandon was there too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
all
That was a long time ago. It's hard to remember.
right.
yeah.
Great
And
time.
and kind of echo some of those things too. I mean, I present. I don't consider myself a trainer. I defer to you guys, and we do have a fourth that unfortunately is missing. Our friend G. Truglia couldn't be here today, but of course he's nationally renowned as a trainer in our industry. But I think we all agree that we can do something like we're doing now, but it's hard to gauge how well the information is being received from the training perspective when you can't see the people in the seats, right? You can't see that guy in the back that kind of looks like a deer, in the deer in the headlight kind of a look on their face, or they really have it and excited and they're interjecting their own experiences into the conversation. So, yeah, I think online can be effective, but I don't think anything beats being able to be front and center and face to face.
Agreed.
And as Scott mentioned too, and we all know, just the ability to hang out with like-minded individuals. So let's be real. The people who are watching now, the people who attend any of these events, whether it's online or live, are the um, small percentage of our business, unfortunately.
Oh boy.
And nope, sorry, can't talk to you right now. um, um, and and that's okay because we're preaching to the choir, right? But these are also the men and women that set the professional standards in our industry. And I'm very excited to be associated with people like that, and for you to be able to come out and see, hey, yeah, maybe the other guys in the shop don't care, but when you come out to an event like this and find out how many do. And I'm going to tell you this too, guys, because I get this question all the time about not getting support from their bosses that do training, whether giving the time off or contributing to the cost or anything like that. Right now, you don't have to put up with that. If you're a technician who wants to expand their skill sets, who wants to become more professional, who wants to learn more and stay ahead, there are shops who are dying to have you right in your own backyard. You just haven't found them yet. And one way to find them is to come to events like these. Because these are, I've seen shops where they shut the doors and bring everybody and the team with them to events, like the live events. I'm sure you guys too. I mean, I know that Scott, I mean, you're shop owner. I know how you feel about keeping your guys trained, and
Yeah.
Brandon, you had that experience, right? But good shops that would, shops that wouldn't, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Some shops just don't understand how expensive it is to not have trained technicians,
You-
and they've got customers that aren't coming back because they're not effective in delivering
Right.
proper repair.
Right.
I just want to throw this in there. I've heard it said, and I'm sure we've seen this written before, that what if I send my techs for training and then they leave? And the better question is, what if you don't train them and they stay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
Or what if you hire one of those technicians that never went to training?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
Excuse
it's
me.
there's so many good reasons for doing that. And hey, that kind of leads me up to one of the topics for our discussion today, and that's the event that we have coming up. In fact, let me see if I can share that with the audience real quick. Bring that up. Whoop, didn't want to do that. And this is always a good thing about doing things live, guys and gals, all those who are watching. And you've seen me do these live things before, so it's no surprise, right? So let me see if I can just share that with everybody. And there we go. If you haven't heard, then let me be one of the first to tell you that Motor Age Training is going to be hosting a live event of our own. It's called Accelerate, and it's going to be held October 15th, 2022, at the Embassy Suites, Chicago O'Hare in Rosemont, Illinois. It's an all-day event, and what's really kind of cool about it is that the three people that you see on the screen right now are going to be your presenters. And also, I don't want to let out G as well. G will also be there. So it's a forfer when you come out to this event. It's not just a one time guy deal. So I think the link is already in the uh, video description to register or get more information. Let me see if I can close that out. No, I don't want to do that. You got to find the right button. Oh, well, I'll come back to it when I find it. Oh, there we are. So many buttons.
well,
I don't.
you need an engineer in the background.
Yeah,
pulling
right.
all
I
those
need
levers,
a
right?
production engineer in the background. But hey, anyway, guys, like I said, October 15th, 2022, Rosemont, Illinois, at the Embassy Suites, Hilton, Chicago O'Hare. Very easy to get there. And in fact, if you're in the Chicagoland area, you've been there before for other training events that's been held there in the past. And I got to pull it up because I don't want to speak out of turn here. Let me pull that up. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it right now. We still got 3 weeks for the early bird special, I guess they always refer to that at, $155 is the cost of the event. I mean, Jesus, guys, I pay $155 to go see Brandon by himself or Scott by himself. Let alone getting to see both those guys and G, and I'll put in there somewhere, but you're going to get a lot of information, and I know that I'm going to be doing one on mastering your electrical diagnostic skills. I meet technicians all around the country who struggle with electrical testing, and with everything going electronic, brother, you better get that kind of honed up there if you want to make sure you can make some money. Brandon, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you're going to be presenting there at Accelerate?
Well, I'll be doing what we call Scan Tool Analysis 101, Mastering Scan Tool Data Interpretation. So the idea with drivability is to gain a diagnostic direction right from the driver's seat. Gather as much info as you can before we have to open up the hood and get dirty. I mean, we see it all the time. Lots of guys running around the shop like a chicken without a head, and they're covered in grease and sweat, and they don't seem to be getting anywhere. Whereas this approach will allow you to take your time, stay focused, and only perform the tests that are necessary to prove the fault. And gathering the data from the seat, the proper data, when analyzed properly, it will head you down that path towards success really efficiently as well. So,
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that one. I have not seen you present that topic before, so I'm really looking forward to hear that.
Great.
And Scott, geez, you've been getting into some really cool stuff. I tell what guys and gals what they could expect to see when you get up there and start.
Yeah, well, the course that I'm teaching, or the presentation, will actually dovetail nicely into Brandon's stuff, because what I'm going to be focused on is taking a look at some of the things that are actually going on behind the scenes inside of the controller, what engineers basically do to solve for certain conditions, how the engineering actually looks at data. If they were to fire up their own scan tool, this is how they would look at the data or how to present the data. And my goal is to help technicians understand that there's more than what you probably have just been told on how certain things get done, and other ways that then you can take and turn and apply that and visualize that data, visualize that scan tool data. I'll primarily be using the HP Tuners software. The VCM scan tool is pretty awesome. I mean, I use that almost every day. I do some QA stuff here in the shop, QA, QC, do some diagnostics, but man, if I take that tool out on a road test and it's collecting all my data, I can visualize data, whether I'm working on a transmission related issue or a fuel control problem or a variable cam timing. I can lay out these awesome histogram type charts that give me an instant notification on how that system is performing, and wow. It helps me also document that info. So I've got some stuff that I'm proud to share, and I hope that this will fuel technicians and give them some new perspectives on what they can do when it comes to solving problems.
Wow. And then our friend G. Truglia is going to be doing hybrid and EVs. So that's very on time nowadays with the growth in EVs and how fast they're growing. I remember I went to recently another conference in San Diego with Scott, where one of the presenters were saying that next 5 years, he said 30% of the vehicles on the road are going to be hybrid or electric powered. So, if you're not ready for that, then you're going to be left behind really quick. I mean, 30%, that's 1 in 3 guys and gals, 1 in 3. So it's coming. You can't step by that. So these are all, again, great programs, and you need to take advantage of it. Again, October 15th, 2022, get into the next 3 weeks, get your registration in. You're going to save yourself about $40. And that's still not all. You get 3 great presenters in me.
Come on, Pete.
Come on. Yeah.
And we're going to feed you. You're going to get breakfast, lunch, and there's going to be an after reception after the event to just kind of chill, decompress, and get a chance to hang out with us and, ask any questions you might have or tell us how you felt about the program. We're also going to have a number of industry sponsors there. They'll be set up around the room where you get a chance during break time to interact with them. talk to the reps from these different aftermarket companies. It's just going to be a very full, packed day in Rosemont. So I encourage you to mark your calendars, go online. See, it's accelerate-conference.com. Pretty sure that the link is in the video description, wherever it is that you're watching, and get the information on it. Come see Brandon, come see Scott, come see G, come see me. And we'll look forward to seeing you, like I said, October 15th, 2022. Guys, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me today and share a little bit about what people can expect when they come out. And again, I appreciate your time.
You got it. My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. And I'm looking forward to this event. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, the networking.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the networking.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So we'll talk to you again real soon. Remember, one more time, October 15th, Rosemont, Illinois, at the Embassy Suite Hilton, Chicago O'Hare. Going to be a great time. Check it out, and then we'll hope to see you there. All right. Good night.
Thanks.